De Bruyne's corner. Haaland! Goal! It's Mo Salah! It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
I'm alive. Good morning. Welcome back for another deadline stream. How's everyone doing today? Good to see everyone in the chat already. I was reading all the chat messages as the 3 minutes counted down on the intro. Some belters in there. Welcome all to the stream. Hope you're all well. Odin says, morning mate, FPL should be illegal. Big up bro. Thank you also Edjar for becoming a member. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's well. I've made 2 transfers already. My team feels really good this week, but I remember the last time felt like I had a really good week. I had a shocker, so who knows? But I've made 2 moves already. What do you think of the team, guys? Next week could be a problem, but I'm not thinking about that. I've got like Mukiele against Liverpool. I've got is it Liverpool? Yeah, Arsenal. I've got Lefebvre against Arsenal. Van Dijk's got Man City. O'Reilly's got Liverpool, obviously. Mane's got Chelsea, so Gameweek 25 could be a problem, but this week I love the team, and I've been going back and forth on captaincy so much as well. I think it's Bruno or Haaland for me, but there's definitely other options. Taking Latis, thank you for the 42 months. There's Raya and Chalobah or Timber and Sanchez on a wild card. I prefer the first combination, Raya Chalobah. And yeah, thank you again Edjar for becoming a member. Is the start graphic correct? Which one? Oh, sorry. No, it's not. That is not. That's from last game week. Let me delete that. Actually, just on that, remember last game week, the Liverpool guy said Ekitike starts, Gakpo doesn't. And that was the one player that actually ended up wrong. Now, he knows someone that's in the Liverpool staff, and he always sends the Liverpool 11. Like, he did it again on Wednesday. Liverpool played Wednesday night. He sent the full 11 on Wednesday morning. Again, it was correct. So he says, I don't know what happened with that one player being wrong. But it did work out in the end, luckily, because I sold Gakpo for Enzo. So if anyone else did that, then that worked out nicely, weirdly. Is the music too loud? Let me turn it down a little bit. X meltdown if you left that start graphic. Hopefully a less dramatic game week. Last game week was absolute chaos with the Foden and Haaland benching being leaked. Did you guys manage to react to that, and did it work out for you guys? The Foden and Haaland news. I got tagged in a photo there from FPL Demble, who managed to screenshot the exact moment that the news dropped. Hopefully today's less dramatic. Well, I guess you guys probably love a dramatic deadline stream, really, don't you? That's why you're here. YT to IX says start 2 out of Dewsbury Hall, O'Reilly and Anderson. Dewsbury Hall definitely. Hall I wouldn't, so it's O'Reilly versus Anderson. I would probably bank on the O'Reilly start. He seems to be in the predicted 11s. I was looking at Jump the Waves predicted Man City lineups, and she's got O'Reilly on 75% from all her City predictions. He did react, but Thiago let me down. This was actually the thing, like, all the alternative captains pretty much blanked. Like, Saka and Thiago, I think, were 2 popular ones, and they both ended up blanking. Reacted, but it didn't work out. Intro changed finally. I noticed I still need to change it again, though, the intro. Who was it that I just saw on there? Oh, Grealish. Grealish is on the intro, but he's out for the season, so he's going to have to be removed. But I did update a few players. Semenyo is now a Man City player on the intro, and I updated Haaland's graphic and a few other bits and bobs. But I have to do it again. Just turn the music down a tiny bit more. I don't know how loud it's coming through for you, but it's so loud in my ears. Can't hear myself think. You saw the news last second. You panicked and captained Semenyo for an 8-pointer. I'll take it. Very nice, very nice. Good gains. I mean, I don't think there'll be anything today because of the games that are on. So we've got... It's a weird one today, isn't it? With no early kickoff. So we've got Brighton v Everton, Leeds v Arsenal, Wolves v Bournemouth. It's unlikely. Maybe Everton news, maybe a little bit of Arsenal news during the stream. I think the Arsenal lineup's going to be full strength. Arteta said Timber and Saliba are fine after getting the refresh midweek off. So Sean says I can't decide Hall or Anderson. I mean, I think they'll probably both concede, honestly, but Anderson's got a good chance of DEFCON, whereas Hall doesn't. Hall could get an attacking return. Really close, but I'd probably just go Anderson for the DEFCONs. United YouTube message retracted, didn't see it, but thank you. And Igor says, and Ndai and Ekatike for Bruno and João Pedro for -4, or just in Mbumo for Ndai. No, I wouldn't sell Ekatike for a hit. I'm actually not even sure if João Pedro starts. These are the predicted lineups from Jump the Wave. So, how many she got? It must be about 12 predictions in there, and she puts percentages by each player. And João Pedro's sitting at 50%. So I think he's a little bit risky this week. He's great for the next 4, but I don't know if this is the week he definitely starts. Because they had Napoli a few days ago, and then they've got Arsenal in the League Cup. So, and then obviously then it's Gameweek 25 as well. So something's got to give, surely. So I wouldn't take a hit for him. I think it's okay to buy for free, but for a hit, not for me. Mark says, should I wildcard? I've got 2 free transfers with 1 million in the bank this game week. Got Ride, Dubravka, Gabriel, Kukurea, Van Dijk, Keane, Estev, Cherky, Saka, Enzo, Anderson, Tavernier, Haaland, Ekatike and Q. What's the best plan here? So 1 million in the bank. Okay. So you need Bruno. I think Bruno is just the priority transfer this week if you haven't got him. So how do you get to Bruno? Could be Cherky out. Can you afford Ekatike to Evan Nilsson and Tavernier to Bruno? No, because that's 1.8, 2.8, 2.8 plus. What's Tavernier's like 5.4, is he? Oops, wrong one. 5.4 plus 1.8, so no, it doesn't work. How do we get to Bruno here? What if you did Ekatike to Mane and Tavernier to Bruno? I don't think you need to wildcard. I would consider that, Mark. Can you afford that? And then, so Wolves are about 90-ish% likely to double in 26. So I've brought Mane in. I've got him on my bench this week. And Arsenal, obviously, the other team that could. These would be the potential double game week fixtures. So Mane could be nice. And you could even start him this week. I think Keane's going to start, so that's fine. So you play a... So yeah, you play a 4-4-2. You don't have to start Mane. Sorry. A 4-5-1. Yeah. Yeah, so you play a 4-5-1, Mark. I think that's the solution. Mane and Bruno win for Ekitike and Tavernier. And play a 4-5-1. Bench, Esteve, bench, Mane first and bench, and Esteve, then Gw. Boom, got it. So Arsenal could have a double of Brentford away, Wolves away. Wolves would have Forest away, Arsenal home. Arsenal beating Chelsea, I think it's 3-2 after the first leg in the League Cup. We'll know this time next week who doubles, because the second leg is next week, midweek. So if Arsenal do progress, then it'll be those top two fixtures you see there. If Chelsea can overcome it and knock Arsenal out, then the double game at 26 is going to be these bottom two here. So yeah, we'll find out next week. But there's definitely a double game at 26. And whoever doubles in 26, blanks in 31. So that's the headline. Really like your team, perfectly set. Yeah, I feel like I've been playing really solid lately, but it's not really led to like much in terms of green arrows. But I feel like if I was wildcarding this week, I don't think it'd be that different to this. I don't know if I'd have a Thiago, maybe not Lefay, maybe not O'Reilly, but it's not many players I've changed. I'd love to have Chalobah over Van Dijk, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. FPL is such a random game. Like, there's been weeks, I was saying at the start of the stream, there's been weeks where I'm like, I love my team this week. Like, everyone's got a great home fixture. And I remember that week I got a pretty big red arrow. So, there's no certainties in FPL. But yeah, the team looks alright. Odin says his team is Raya, Tarkowski, Gabriel Dorete. So you've got Bruno G, Chow and Van der Ven. With one transfer, any advice? Only one transfer. And you've got... Oh my god. Tim's just gifted 50 memberships to the stream. Is that right? Yeah, 50 memberships. Holy, Tim. Welcome to all the new members. Make sure you spam something in chat and you might end up getting one of the 50. Hang on. Oh my god, thank you so much, Tim. What a guy. 50 gifted memberships is crazy. Tim, thank you so much, mate. As Odin's question, I was just thinking what to advise, because he's only got one transfer and he doesn't have Bruno Fernandes, and he can't get to him in one transfer. So you've got... this is really tricky. You might have to go without Bruno for this week, because your team's alright. I think I would roll Odin and buy him in Game Week 25. Yeah, I would roll Odin. It's not a good way to get to Bruno this week. It's not worth a hit. You've got a solid team. Yeah, just roll Odin and then reassess in 25. And obviously, after this game week, we'll also know who definitely doubles in 26. So, yeah, I would roll. Joker Dan says, thinking of selling Haaland, am I crazy? Not necessarily. I mean, did you guys see the experts video this week? Game Week Guru Tom activated his wildcard. His last two ranks are like top 1k and top 2k or something crazy like that. And he's wildcarded no Haaland. So, like, some top managers are looking at it. On my site, there's the top all-time managers widget as well, here. So these are basically the managers that have got the best all-time rankings. And there was it Jesper here? Yeah. So Jesper activated his wildcard. And look at his ranks there. 20k, 196, 194th. Like, he's got loads of top 10ks and even top 200 in the world. And he wildcarded no Haaland. So, like, it does have potential. It's really high risk, high reward. Like, if Haaland's form carries on how it has been recently, then it's huge. Like, if he keeps blanking or not scoring much, Now, over the last 6 game weeks, Haaland is 167th in the league for FPL points. 167th. He's just behind players like Scholes from West Ham. Like, that's how low he scored over the last 6 game weeks. So yeah, it's definitely got potential. It just depends on your risk tolerance, and I haven't got the balls for it. I've done it before and it went horribly. I haven't got the balls for it. But yeah, it's got the potential for sure. XXL says sell Thiago and buy Evan Olsen from -4. For a hit, no. For a hit, I wouldn't. I would consider it for free for the next 3 game weeks. Yeah, Palmer should start, and it's West Ham home. Yeah, I think he's a good captain shout. The captain widget this week has Bruno number 1, Haaland on 3 stars. He was on 4, so he's lost a star. Salah, Palmer, Saka. So, I mean, who are you guys captaining? Let's put a poll up. Who's your captain? So Haaland, Bruno. Who would you put third? Palmer or Enzo? I feel like Enzo is going to be more popular than Palmer. Some people saying Enzo in chat. Yash says Semenyo, Rogers, Sanchez, Chalobah double up. I think Rogers over Semenyo. Villa's fixtures are really nice long term, so I would say Rogers over Semenyo. And obviously he's completely nailed. And there it is, Tim's 50 gifted memberships. Thank you again for that, Tim. That's mental, thank you. United YouTube says, morning, I've left my iPad unlocked earlier in the week. My mates activated my free hit to banter me. What's the best free hit team this week? Mate, that's a violation. If someone did that to my FPL team, you like logged into my account and activated a chip, mate, I would lose it. You know what? It's actually not a bad week to free hit though. Like, there are some really good fixtures. What would I have? I'd have to squeeze Palmer in here somewhere, surely. Maybe go no Haaland, no Saka. Yeah, no Saka maybe. Who else would you have? Yeah, you go Chelsea defence, wouldn't you? Chalobah. I'd keep the double Arsenal defence. Actually, you could go triple Arsenal defence even. I'd probably do that and then go no Saka. And then, which striker? I don't know if I'd risk João Pedro. I'd probably go Palmer, Enzo, Chalobah, Evan Nilsson. We're slightly over budget. Can't go for Q actually because we've got triple Chelsea, Timber, Chalobah. So Anderson down to Reinildo, 3.8 mil, and then the midfielder who's 4.3 mil. Something like that. If I was on a free hit. Mukiele could be order 80 actually, because you wouldn't start him. Oh, you would start him. No, you wouldn't start him. You would. Yeah, be 4-4-2, wouldn't it? Yeah, something like that on a free hit. Thoughts on that, guys? His mates logged into his account and activated his free hit. I'll be so pissed off. Sammy says I would fight him. Joe says that's too much. I mean, maybe you absolutely smash it this week and it ends up being a good decision, but I don't know. I feel like that's crossing the line. Hacking someone's FPL account and activating a chip, that is way over the line. Way over the line. I was going to say that's worse than like if someone got with my girlfriend, but that's too far. that's definitely worse. But like hacking an FPL account and using a chip is that's a violation. Outrageous. Bale says start one, Maguire or Calafiori, and Enzo or João Pedro. So he's still got Calafiori. I think he's got a good chance of starting. No, I think I'd play Maguire just because of the uncertainty and like what if he comes off early for Nkapia. Maybe Nkapia starts. Enzo or João Pedro? Enzo. Kin Julk says Van Dijk, Lefay or Timber. Who to play, who to bench? I'd say Timber. And then Lefay, then Van Dijk in that order. So for your bench. FPL Train says, is he still your friend? Yeah, I would dump him for that. CFJW says, Gakpo, Cherky, Bruno G and Lacroix to Bruno Fernandes, Enzo, Dewsbury Hall and Chalobah. 4 free transfers. Or Gakpo, Saka, Bruno G. Okay, hang on. Gakpo, check. So Lacroix, Bruno, yeah. I'd go with the first combination. Bruno, Enzo, Dewsbury Hall, Chalobah. Yeah, I would go for that. That's really nice. That's a nice set of 4 moves. FPL Cat Lady says, same team mostly. She's thinking about Ryder for Bruggen, Van Dijk to Gabriel. You've got Timber, Potts to Mbumo, Ekatike to Krupi, 1 mil in the bank, and then move Bruno G next week. What are your thoughts? I would much rather keep Raya and just sell Timber for Gabriel and save yourself a transfer, if I were you. Not a big fan of Raya to Verbruggen. To then sell Van Dijk as well, I would just do Timber to Gabriel. The other moves are great. I've actually bought Mane, Cat Lady, over Krupi. It's really close because Krupi's got better fixtures and he has scored more this season, but there is about a 80 to 90% chance that Wolves double in 26. And I know the double does suck, but I think he's still useful. Forest away, Arsenal home. He might just get 4 points, like, fine. So I would consider him, unless you've got him already, and that's why. But yeah, I like the moves, Cat Lady. I just wouldn't do the Raya to Verbruggen. I'd rather just sell Timber to Gabriel and keep Raya and save a transfer. I was in a similar situation as you early in the season, and I ended up doing just Timber to Gabriel and save a transfer. And that's ended up saving me a hit, because I'm making lots of moves lately, and I would have been taking a hit otherwise, and now I'm not. Nova says, bench 1 out of Enzo, Saka, Semenyo, Thiago, Anderson and Krupi. I would bench Krupi out of all of those. I know he's got Wolves, but yeah, I think he'll get either 2 points or 7 points. Like, yeah, I would just trust the others because they're better for minutes, basically. Shim says, transfer Watkins out or bench him and play as Stev. The thing of Watkins is he could actually play. And where do you definitely go that's worth spending a transfer? I wouldn't bench him. I think I would keep Watkins if I had him. Unless you've got a couple transfers and you can downgrade him and then buy someone like Bruno or Mbumo or Enzo. If you've got 2 transfers, consider that. Otherwise, just play Watkins and hope for the best. He might start. Emery didn't rule him out. Captain Pole's got Bruno 62%, Haaland 27%, Enzo 3% and 7% other. 13 Killing says, hi Oscar, can you help? I've got 1 free transfer and 2.1 mil. You've got no bench and O'Reilly in the starting 11, no United as well. 2.1 mil, okay. But you've only got 1 transfer, so you can't do Zobo to Bruno. Yeah, tricky. You might just have to buy Bruno next week using 2 transfers. And yeah, I think I would sell Zobo to Bruno next week. And then you could use a second transfer, maybe selling a Tavernier, something like that. Not sure exactly how. You might not be able to afford Tavernier to Dewsbury Hall to fund it. Can you afford that this week? Zobo to Bruno, Tavernier to Dewsbury Hall. I guess maybe not. How much is Zobo? Zobo's is 6.7, so 6.7 plus 2.1, 8.8. And then Tavernier is 5.4. I think you still can't afford him, even with those two moves. You're you're 0.2 mil short. Tricky. I think I would roll. Yeah, I think Bruno's going to have to be next week. It's a good team. It's just, yeah, no United, like you say. I would leave it. I don't think it's worth a hit. I can't see where it's worth taking a hit in your team. I think O'Reilly probably starts as well. So I think he's alright. Ben says he's on a no Haaland wildcard. Which attackers are best? So I would have said Watkins, but now obviously he's picked up this injury, so he's a doubt. He might start, but it's a bit risky now. I feel like you probably have to take the chance on João Pedro and then go Evan Nilsson. I think João Pedro won't start all of the next 4, but it might not matter because the fixtures are so good. Like Chelsea are playing 4 of the bottom 5 in the next 4 game weeks. It's the best fixture run you'll see all season anywhere. So I would say Evan Nilsson and João Pedro on a no Haaland draft. Start Krupi or Bruno G. I think it'd have to be Krupi, Owen. I mean, Bruno G, he was on the bench against PSG, but he didn't even come on. So I feel like he's... I think he'll probably start or not play at all, but I would say Krupi against Wolves, I would start there. Jono, thanks for 26 months. Play Zobosai, Cherki or Pedro. I mean, you got to play João Pedro, West Ham home. I know he's a bit of a rotation risk this week, potentially, because of the Champions League last midweek, League Cup next midweek. But you got to play João Pedro home to West Ham and just hope for the best. How are we doing, Sonny? Good to see you. I forgot to do the welcomes at the start of the stream, so I'll do it late now. Welcome Anton, BZE, Veer, Matt, Tyke, Sophus, Sam, Jalal, Virendra, Carlo, Craig, Mr. Nobody, Cal Jamal, Tom, Christopher, Jack, JCC, Denzel, Gail, Yarrow, Razan, Carlo, FPL Joe, Taking the Tiss, Flandy, Solver, Virendra, King Cole. Welcome all of you to the stream. If any of you aren't subscribed, hit the button below. 30% of viewers aren't subscribed, so join us. Ben says he's got 2 free transfers, 0.6 mil in the bank. His team is Kelleher, Dubravka, Van Dijk, Gabriel. He's stuck on what to do. So he's already got Bruno. I think this could be a roll. Van Dijk, Gabriel, Timber, Zobosai, Rogers, Semenyo, Rice, Bruno. I think this could be a roll. The other option you have, and what I did this week, is I downgraded Ekatike to Mane and then moved the midfielder up to Mbumo. You could consider that, Ben. But in my case, I was selling Bar, who literally hasn't played a minute all season. He was just a cheap enabler. Whereas in your case, you'd have to sell Zoboslai. Is Zoboslai going to play right back, guys? Let me see if I've been told anything. Because Frimpong's now injured. Bradley's out for the season. Nothing there. Actually, that could be worth doing, actually. Zoboslai right back. Yeah, Zoboslai right back is the rumour. Unconfirmed team that I've been sent was Alisson, Zoboslai, Konate, Van Dijk, Kirkes, Gravenberg, McAllister, Vert, Salah, Ekatike, Gakpo, but not from the usual guy. I think that could be worth doing, Ben. Because Frimpong's out for a while. Zoboslai could play right back. It could be Endo. Jones can play there, but that's quite a nice pair of moves. Ekatike to Mane, Zoboslai. But you've got Gw. So can you afford Evan Nilsson instead? $1.8 mil plus, so that's 2.4 plus. Yeah, you can afford that. So Ekatike to Evan Nilsson, Zoboslai to Mbumo. That's really nice. Bournemouth have got amazing fixtures. And you bring in Mbumo. So that's the next 8 game weeks. So Bournemouth are 5th in the league for projected goals in the next 8 game weeks. Look at the run. Wolves, Villa, Everton, West Ham, Sunderland, Brentford, Burnley, Man United. Yeah, I think that's the one, Ben. Eugene says -4 for Ekitike and Tavernier to Bruno and Mane. Yeah, I like that. I would do that. I think that's fair. Especially if you're going to captain Bruno. Shout out to Stonehouse and Izzy as well. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're both well. Frederick says Pickford, Timber, Gabriel, Alderete, Garner, Rice, Rogers. He's got 1.1 mil, 3 free transfers. Enzo and Bruno for Palmer and Garner. It feels weird to sell Palmer right before these fixtures, but if he's your only way to Bruno, then plus you still get Enzo, that could be worth it actually. Yeah, I think I agree actually. Yeah, it seems bizarre to sell Palmer, but you're buying Bruno and Enzo, which are like massive upgrades over just Palmer alone. I think that's worth it. Yeah, I like it, Frederick. Have any of you guys bought Palmer? Let's do a poll on Palmer if you've got him or not. Let's see what percent of engaged managers have got him. Have you got Palmer or buying him? Poll is up. Scythe, thank you for the 6 months. Best Ekitike replacement, or is it fine to hold? Yeah, it's fine to hold. I think Evan Nilsson may be a very small upgrade this week, but like Ekitike is playing home. Newcastle could be a bit knackered. So I probably wouldn't sell Ekitike unless it was part of a combination move, if that makes sense. I wouldn't do Ekitike to João Pedro this week, personally. Just because of that uncertainty like on João Pedro. Does he definitely start? When they've got the League Cup next week. He started in the Champions League a few days ago against Napoli. Liam says Palmer's not justifying the price this season. But it's a weird one, isn't it? Because he's actually like differential territory. You tagged me for the Haaland phone leak last week. Cheers. No worries. Glad it helped. Yeah, I wouldn't sell Ekitike unless it was a combination move, really. Like, I wouldn't buy Thiago. I wouldn't buy Evan Nilsson unless you were buying someone in midfield. Like, I sold Ekitike for Mane, but that let me buy Mbumo. So I've got Mane who might double in 26. I've got Mbumo. I mean, Man United look great. He's been playing as a 9. His minutes might look a bit better with Dorgu out. 2 home games, Fulham, Spurs, then West Ham away. It just kind of felt, my gut feeling was it felt right. I wanted to do it anyway, and I mentioned it in my transfer plans video literally last Sunday, if any of you guys watched that. But at the time, we didn't know Dorgu was injured, so I was kind of on the fence, and I was looking at Watkins. I was looking at João Pedro. I didn't know if he was going to start in the Champions League at the time. So it feels like it's all nudged me towards Mbumo, and it made sense. And if Bruno and Mbumo can link up for a goal, that would be huge this week. Because I'm basically triple stacked with Bruno captain. And thank you all for being here. I'm not sure how many have got tuned in, but if you're enjoying the stream, hit like and make sure you subscribe. It's completely free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you think, actually, no, this guy's clueless. Stevie says, morning Oscar, who would you start out of Krupi, Mane and Cherki? I would go with the upside, Cherki. He seems to be in a lot of Man City predicted 11s, so I would start Cherki, Stevie. I mean, Spurs are missing a lot of players. Their home record is second worst this season in terms of points. They've got 9 points all season in home games. Shocking. Or is it 6? It's 6 or 9, but anyway, second worst in the league. Vanek, thank you for the 28 months. High Focal, Cherki to Enzo or roll. I would make that move, yeah. It's a clear upgrade for the next 4 game weeks, isn't it? If we go back to the ticker here and go next 4 game weeks, look at that. This is from FPL.page if you guys want to play around with all the FPL toys here in your browser, or FPL Focal in the App Store. There's a link in the description to get the app free. Loads of good stuff on there. But yeah, they're top for the next 4 game weeks with projected goals, 8.8. Clean sheets have still got Arsenal leading, which obviously makes sense. And I think this is something that's like huge in FPL that I think people overlook. So the standard FPL fixture ticker just has overall colours. I think it's got Bournemouth away as a red fixture, but actually what you really want to look at is the team's strength, who they're playing. Like, you'd still back Arsenal to keep clean sheets in some slightly difficult fixtures, as opposed to if Burnley had 4 green fixtures, you know, on the official ratings, if that makes sense. So yeah, these use 11 of 5's projected data, and it's really, really powerful and a lot better to break it down by goals and clean sheets, rather than just overall. So anyway, yeah, Chelsea top. So I like that move. Akshat says, hi Oscar, start Senesi or Ghana and Dewsbury Hall or Thiago. I'm asking for 2 separate teams. Mine are my girlfriends. All the best. Senesi or Ghana? Senesi. Dewsbury Hall or Thiago? Thiago. Hope that helps. Nick says, Rufs, Elderate, Cash, Kroopy, bench boost. Am I stupid? You know what? That's a good bench. It's all going to come down to Sunderland keeping a clean sheet. And I actually honestly don't mind a single game week bench boost. Because the double game weeks nowadays are smaller, so you're not going to necessarily have a bench of any doublers later in the season. So if there's a week where you're expecting your whole team to play and you've got a strong bench, I think it's fine. 5 years ago, I used the bench boost in a single game week, and it gave me a green arrow to 2nd in the world. So, because it came off, and so it shows anything's possible. And I'm not ruling out ever doing it in a single game week again. Eugen says, sorry, already have Bruno captain meant -4 from Bumo. Okay, yeah, I don't mind that. Let me just go back up and recheck that what you said. So, Ekati. Yeah, I think that's alright, Eugen. I don't mind that. Like Newcastle and then City is 2 pretty tough games, whereas Mbumo's got Fulham home, Spurs home. I think that's alright. Lucas says, Sharda to Rogers or Mbumo, bench Thiago or Kroopy. I would start Thiago, and I would rather buy Mbumo over Rogers. Well, I've bought Mbumo myself, and I could have bought Rogers, and I prefer Mbumo. They're both great, but I prefer. FPL Cat Lady says, Bruno G replacement. I've got Bruno, Mbumo, Saka and Enzo. Bruno G replacement. So there's Wilson, who just can't stop returning. There's Anderson. Who else is there? It's got to be those 2. I think Anderson. Sorry. Yeah. I think Anderson. I'm looking to buy Anderson in Gameweek 25. He's kind of a bit of a boring pick, isn't he? Anderson. But I was saying the other day, like, I think those consistent 4 and 5 pointers have gone under the radar. Like, he's on almost 100 points. He's top in the entire league for defensive contributions per 90. So if we go load preset, DEFCON midfielders. 13.74 DEFCONs per 90. Literally top in the league, all positions. So I know he's not a glamorous pick, Wilson is, but I think Anderson, honestly. Plus he's got like the odd free kick and corner. I think Anderson's great for 5.3 mil. Andre says, is João Pedro going to start? The Chelsea predictions are literally 50-50. They've got 50% João Pedro, 50% Delap. I think he's a little bit risky this week, but over the next 4 game weeks, it shouldn't matter. But if you're buying João Pedro, you're going to have to accept there is that risk of him. Because of the Champions League where he started a few days ago, the League Cup a few days next week, plus the West Ham game this weekend. Jago, how are we doing? 24 months, 2 years. Thank you very much for that. He says, is Evan Nilsson okay if João Pedro blocks me from Chalobah? Evan Nilsson's fine. I don't mind Evan Nilsson at all. Probably going to be on penalties even, because Tavernier's out injured, Kluivert's injured. I think he'll be on pens. Small chance it's Krupi, but I think it could be Evan Nilsson on pens. He was on them when he first arrived, and then I remember he missed one, and then Kluivert took over and basically couldn't stop scoring them. So I think Evan Nilsson's fine. Chalobah's great. João Pedro's great as well, but I think I'd rather Evan Nilsson this week. Abdullah says, so he's on a wild card. Sanchez, Dubravka, Mukiele, Anderson, Gabriel, Rodon, Timber, Rice, Rogers, Bruno, Enzo, Haaland, João Pedro and Mane. What do you think about it? It looks good. I would have Jose Sarr over Dubravka, backup keeper, because then you can start him in 26 if they double. Apart from that, looks spot on. Maybe Evan Nilsson over João Pedro. I was on the FPL show yesterday, and they asked me to do a wild card, and it was very similar to yours. I don't know if I'll be able to find it now. Where would it be? Video. Video. Where's FPL? Watch the fantasy show in full. We're not going to watch it in full. One sec. I'll show you the wildcard I put together. It'll be easier that way. Oh, there we go. Oscar's wildcard draft. So I had Verbruggen, Gabriel, Timber, Chalobah, Saka, Enzo, Bruno and Mbumo, Anderson, Evan Nilsson, Haaland, and then I had Sarr, Mukiele, Rodon and Mane. So you get potentially, if Arsenal Wolves double, you get 5 doublers in 26. I went Evan Nilsson over João Pedro, but I think João Pedro is fine. You don't want to go Raya and Jose Sarr, because obviously then you have 2 double in 26 and both blanking in 31. So Sanchez and Jose Sarr is good, or Verbruggen and Jose Sarr. So yeah, that was the team I put together on a wildcard. Very similar to yours, to be fair. Just a few tweaks. And I went Saka over Rice. Because let's say, hypothetically, if Saka scores this game week, and maybe he scores against Sunderland, then I think he's in the conversation as the best captain for the double in 26, if it happens. So I would rather leave Saka in, basically. But yeah, very similar to yours. Prince says, hey Oscar, I did Foden to Bruno early. Okay, nothing in the bank, no transfers. Hall to Senesi -4. Nah, I don't think I'd do that. No, I wouldn't take a hit for Senesi. You'd need Senesi to keep a clean sheet, minimum, and Hall to concede. It's possible, but I mean, what are the clean sheet odds? We've not looked at them yet. I don't think they're above 50%. So you're basically betting 4 of your points on a 27% chance, basically, of getting the 4 points back. Doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't do that. You need that Bournemouth clean sheet, and you need Newcastle to concede. If a team was above 50%, then you'd say technically you're mathematically likely to get your hit back. But you're not, so I wouldn't do that for a hit, if that makes sense. I'm really behind on chat, so we might have to pause super chat. So I'll go as fast as I can here. Alexander's on a wild card as well. Yeah, so I've closed the tab now, sorry, but that wild card I had on screen just now, I'm guessing helped to answer your question. So yeah, Jose Sarr for Dubravka. Yeah, I don't think I'd have Tarkowski. I'd have Saka over Rice. Very similar to yours, though, the one that I put together. Very, very similar. Looks good, though. Amy Pan says, team is Raya, Van Dijk, Chow, Riley, Timber. Should I take a hit? 1.4 mil in the bank. No transfers. No transfers. No, I don't think you need to take a hit. You've got Bruno, you've got Rogers, Enzo. No, it looks fine. I mean, I know you've got to play Chow against Liverpool, but you know he's got a good chance of Defcon. Doesn't need a hit, Amy. That looks fine. No leaks at the moment. I'm not sure if we'll get any today, but if we do get any, I'll let you know. Random guy says, thoughts on this wildcard team? I can't decide on keepers. Did you forget to put the wildcard team in? I should have taken a screenshot of that wildcard, but never mind. But if anyone wants to rewind and see my wildcard team, it was on screen about 2 minutes ago. Stepanoto says, -4 Bruno G, Nakatike to Mbeumo and Evan Nilsson. Yeah, I like that. That looks good, Step. So Bruno G's a doubt. He's got Liverpool anyway. I like Mbeumo long term. I like Evan Nilsson long term. Go for it. Yeah. Steve says, Wirtz or Saka to Bruno? Definitely Wirtz out. Keep Saka. He might double in 26. He could even be the best captain in 26. Like I say, hypothetically, let's say Saka scores against Leeds and then he scores home to Sunderland and then it's game week 26 double. Who's the best captain in 26 if that happens? Gabriel or Saka? 15% say they're buying Palmer. 85% aren't. Let's do a poll on it. Who's your captain if Arsenal get the double game week 26? Saka, Gabriel, Rice, other. Yeah, Wirtz out, Steve. Go for it. Sean, thank you for the 40 months. He says, good morning, Focal. You need to get Teddy to pick your captain. Wait, I remember years ago, there was a guy on Reddit, and he used to let his dog pick his captains. No, his cat. It was his cat. Cato, he called him. And the cat used to pick his captains every week. And he went on a crazy run of nailing the captains. And he used to just put 2 treats down with a name by the treats. Or sometimes more than 2. But, no, I don't really trust Teddy's judgment on that. So, I'm going to have to pass on that one. David, thank you as well, David, for becoming a member. Has anyone ever done something like that? Just left something up to chance? Or like flipped a coin on a captain? Or let your pet decide? Or let your mum decide? Or your girlfriend or something like that? Josh says, Creepy Jr. or Wilson to start? I would start Wilson. Can't bench him on current form, can you? Yinwei says, start Bowen or Chow. I would start Bowen over Chow. Got Chalobah in a Liverpool attack, but Newcastle kind of suck playing away. Maybe I just hope Chow gets me the 3 points. No, I play Bowen. He's on pens as well now that Paquetá's left. Bowen all day. Josh says, Creepy Jr. or Wilson to start? Yeah, Wilson. Wait, I think you asked that twice. Yeah, sorry, I was taking a while to catch up there, Josh. I would start Wilson over Creepy. Steve says, bench which 2 to start, which one? Wait, what? Bench which 2, start which one? Oh, I see. So Wilson, Ekitike, Tarkowski. I would start Ekitike. Who's Tarkowski got? Is it Brighton? Brighton away. I'd say Tarkowski over Wilson, just about. Weirdly, Everton keep doing the clean sheets away and not home. Gogar says, 1 free transfer, 0.1 mil on the bank. Donnarumma, Gabriel, Chow, Mukiele, Chalobah. Should I downgrade Ekitike and go Bruno G to Mbeumo? Or should I just roll and wait for double game week news? I think both are honestly valid tactics. I think Bruno G is very sellable now. I think honestly it's fine to wait for info, but I also don't mind replacing Bruno G with Mbeumo. If you can afford Ekitike to like an Evan Nilsson, somewhere like that. I think if you can afford Evan Nilsson, it's worth it. It depends how much you have to downgrade Ekitike. Like Mane for a hit to Mbeumo, probably not so much, but Evan Nilsson and Mbeumo, I think, is worth a hit. Depends on that. What you can afford there. 13 Killing says 1 mil, 1 free transfer in the midfield of Saka, Rogers, Zoboslai, Enzo, Tavernier 5th. Roll to get Bruno next week, or to do Zobo to Mbeumo. I've got no bench. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You could go Mbeumo, but I'd rather wait a week and get Bruno next week, because Bruno is just better than Mbeumo for me. 2.1 mil. Yeah, but you still can't afford a Bruno. So I'd rather just wait, if I were you, and get Bruno. Bruno's better than Mbeumo, in my opinion. Guesses in the chat. Top scorer of Gameweek 25. It was Zoboslai last week. What are we saying this week? So, let me look at the fixtures. Where are the standouts? Sunderland have got Burnley home. Chelsea have got West Ham home. Man City have got Spurs away. Man United have got Fulham home. I'm going to go with an Arsenal player. I'll go... Trossard. What's everyone saying in the chat? Bowen hat-trick. Palmer. Saka, Palmer. João Pedro, Rice. Maguire. Ekitike 25 pointer. Mate, that would be devastating. I've just sold him. So yeah, Zoboslai last game week. I think 13 points might be the lowest king of the game week of the season, which shows how dead last game week was. Blue Max says Ekitike and Wilson / Lafay / Rice to Bruno and who? 2 free transfers, 2.6 mil on the bank. I think it'd have to be Lafay, but then what can you afford for the forward spot? It just seems like a shame to sell Lafay before Burnley home. I think I would leave it a week and then sell Lafay for Bruno, if I were you. I mean, if you can afford Evanilson and Bruno, that's nice, but I don't know if you can afford that. And obviously next week you'll know who definitely doubles, because next week, if it is Wolves that double, you could do Ekitike to Mane and then Lafay to Bruno when Lafay's got Arsenal and Liverpool. Lafay's just very sellable next week, but not so much this week. So I don't think I would do it, Blue Mac. Tricky one, that. Yusuf says, should I take a hit to sell Ekitike to get Mbeumo / and die? I've only got one free transfer. And I've got Thiago and Haaland as striker and Enzo, Bruno, Rice mainly in bar as mids. I don't think who's Maley? I don't think I would take a hit in your situation. I'll do it next week for free, not this week, Yusuf. And then you get rid of Bar next week. You could sell Ekitike when he's got City, but I think this week you don't do it for a hit. Because if you're replacing Bar in midfield, you're gonna have to get a budget forward, aren't you? Like Mane. So it's just not worth a hit this week, I don't think. Tyro Toxism says, pick 2 starters, Thiago, Anderson, Dewsbury Hall and O'Reilly. I would start Thiago and I would start Dewsbury Hall. O'Reilly first bench ahead of Anderson. Timothy says, Sharda to Mbeumo this week or roll. Sharda's nice though, but the next 3 suck. I would do that, Tim. I think that's worth it. They got Villa away, Newcastle away, Arsenal home. Like, how many points is Sharda going to get over the next 3? Like, the contrast between those 3 fixtures and Man United's Fulham home, Spurs home, West Ham away. I would do that, Tim. Makes sense. Any leaks? I don't know if we'll get any, but I will check. It's usually near the deadline, but no, nothing at the moment. And I don't know if we'll get anything today or not. If anyone's joined late, the 2 transfers I've made, I did Bar to Mbeumo and I did Ekitike to Mane using 2 free transfers. I'm not 100%, but I think next week there's 2 potential moves that I'll make. As in 2 options. I'll only make 1 move because I'll have 1 free transfer. Option 1 is I get rid of O'Reilly and I buy maybe Chow, because he's got Brentford home, Spurs away, City away, I bench him. Everton home, maybe that. Or I could do Lefay out to Anderson. I'd have exact money for that. Because Lefay has got Arsenal away. I don't think you can see that. Arsenal away, Liverpool home. So Lefay is sellable. And I could just go Anderson, who's got Leeds away, Wolves home, Liverpool home. The thing about Anderson is you can start him in any fixture because he's great for Defcons, and that's the main reason you get him. So like Liverpool home isn't the sort of fixture I'm like, oh god, I have to bench him for that. You start Anderson every game week regardless of fixture. Cheeseman Chris says happy Bruno Day everyone. Honestly, captaincy is really close this week. I'm 60-40 in favour of Bruno. I think it's that close. There's a projected goal involvement widget on my site as well. Let me show you what that's saying for this week. So if we go, so goal scorer odds, obviously Haaland's miles ahead. If we go goal involvement, Haaland's leading on that as well, 0.8 projected goal involvement. Bruno 0.71, but obviously that's just pure goal involvements. Bruno's got the Defcon potential. He gets an extra point per goal, plus there's the potential clean sheet point. So I think it's really, really close between them. But yeah, Haaland's top for purely projected goal involvement, but obviously Bruno does have those other two factors to consider. Does Marmoush not take minutes from Haaland? I think this week it's possible they both start, but I'm expecting Haaland to start. It's got Fulham 1-0 written all over it. Mate, don't. Have you ever thought about making your own model, Oscar? Very briefly, but I wouldn't even know where to start. And when it's crossed my mind before, basically what I very quickly realised is I'm never going to be as good as a model like FPL Review, who specialise in this stuff. And if you read the blog post on FPL Review's site, he seriously knows this stuff. Like I read through some of it and it just totally went over my head. Like he's a really smart guy, the guy behind FPL Review, and there's no way I'm making something ever as good as or accurate as FPL Review. So instead I just collaborate with them. For example, the captaincy widget, you see at the bottom here it says the ratings are from FPL Review. And I don't know when it'll be. It could be next season, but I've got a new widget coming on the site, which will be completely free. And it's going to be a projected team of the week widget every week. So like we have the scout selection, which is just based on some unknown person's opinion on the best team. We'll have the same thing on my site, but the best possible team for projected points each week using FPL Review's projections. I don't know when it will come, but I've been speaking to him about it and he's like on board. He likes the idea. So maybe next season. By the way, there is some sick stuff coming on the website. I think this weekend, potentially, we're launching a new widget, which has genuinely never been done before, and I think could be a game changer in the FPL space. Like some of you remember at the start of the season, I added the defensive contributions widget, which we'd been working on in advance in the build-up to Gameweek 1. And I saw the potential. I was like, people are going to want to be able to know who's on Defcon and bonus live during games. So we launched this the day this season started. And I've got a new idea which has been working on for ages. And I think it could go live this Saturday. And yeah, as I say, it's not been done before. And I think it's a game changer. And hopefully this is the game week that it finally launches. We'll see. But stay tuned. Dusty Doyle says he's on a wild card. So Sanchez, Timber, Gabriel, Chalobah, Munoz. Should I drop Ahmad to Dewsbury Hall and start Thiago? I'm not so keen on Truffert. And I'd rather have Mbumo and Bruno than Ahmad. Yeah, I'd swap Ahmad to Bruno. If you can, but you have to free up the money, I guess. Who's your backup keeper? I'd have Jose Sarr backup keeper. Maybe I can just quickly take a screenshot of my wildcard team and then I can put that on screen. So I thought long and hard about like the best wildcard, because I was going on the FPL show, so I wanted to really like come up with a good team. And let me show you what that wildcard was again. I'm not wildcarding this week, but if I was, this would be the team. Oh, there we go. Oh, I've taken a screenshot with the bloody pause and fast forward thing on it. Right, sorry. So that's the wild card. I'm just going to leave it like it is there. For Bruggen, Gabriel, Timber, Chalobah, Saka, Enzo, Bruno, and Mbeumo, Anderson, Evan Nilsson, Haaland, Jose Sarr, Mukiele, Rodon, and Mane. That's how I would wildcard, personally, if I was using it this week. Why isn't Munoz in many wildcards? Yeah, I mean, the fixtures are crazy, aren't they, soon? But do we really want to be investing in Palace now when Glaston's on his way out? They've lost Gueye, Mateta's not in the squad this week because he wants out. But yeah, he's definitely got potential. Right, where did I get to in chat here? A bit behind. Bear with me. Gogar says, "Hi Oscar, please go Haaland captain." Oh, don't do this to me now. I've been honestly thinking so long and hard about captaincy this week, and I think I'm 60-40 in favour of Bruno captain, but I think Haaland's great as well. Yeah, I don't want to leak what the new widget is because I kind of want to just surprise everyone with it, but it's going to be really cool and something that's not been done before ever. And it's going to be super useful. But it could be tonight that it launches / tomorrow. I just kind of want to monitor it for another game week and see if it's working correctly. Right, anyway, Chris says, "Hi Oscar, 5721. I don't normally do team IDs, Chris. FYI, anyone that was thinking of putting their ID, just because I have to like then load the team in the background but I'll do it now. But for future reference, we won't do IDs. But this is your team, so it looks alright. Sanchez, Tarkowski, Timber, Gabriel, Mukiele, and Dai Rice, Gordon, Foden. Well, how many transfers have you got? You've got 0.5 mil on the bank. So I don't know how many transfers you've got. Foden to Bruno definitely needs doing. If you need to sell Gordon as well, then Gordon to Enzo. Foden to Bruno, Gordon to Enzo. I would do that if you can afford that. Even if that's for a -4, that's worth it. 2 transfers. Perfect. Yeah, do that if you can afford it. If you can't, do a third move for a hit. Because those are 2 great assets you're bringing in. Callow says, "Please give your thoughts on Cucurella this game week." I think he still costs more than Chalobah, doesn't he? And Chalobah's outscored him comfortably, so Cucurella is great. I like Chalobah more. That's basically it. If I was picking either, it'd be Chalobah definitely, because also centre-backs are likely for Defcon, but Cucurella is okay. Dr. Yazan, thanks for the 40 months. Hey bro, long time. Can you please check Twitter messages? What did you say? I don't have a message. I don't see a message. Not sure on that one. I don't have anything there. Sorry. If you send something, it's not come through. Struggling with this game, says, "Hi Oscar, terrible captain headache here. Haaland, Thiago, Pedro, Bruno, Enzo, or Brumo. I think data isn't important this game. What's your gut feeling?" Because mine went numb. I hate these type of game weeks. Yeah, for me, it's Bruno and Haaland are easily the best 2. For me, in my opinion, it's one of those 2. So Spurs have got a lot of players out. Van der Ven's out as well. Porro's out for a while. They've got a lot of injuries. And Spurs have got the second worst home record this season. So there's a lot going in Haaland's way. But Man United have been unbelievable the last 2 games. They're playing home to Fulham. Bruno's got the goal, like more routes to points basically, an extra point per goal, clean sheet point. I'm a 60-40 in favour of Bruno, but I agree, like it's fine if you kind of prefer Haaland. It's those two for me though. I think those are a level above the rest of the options. Unknown Guy says, sell Gakpo to Dewsbury Hall or roll. I've got him Boomo using 1 free. You've already got him Boomo, is that what you mean? I don't think Gakpo to Dewsbury Hall is a definite upgrade. Have you got Enzo? I'd rather Enzo. Otherwise, I would just stick with Gakpo and sell him another week. But if you're saying you can get to Mbeumo in 1 transfer, that's definitely worth it. Headcheck times 3 says bench 2 out of Cash, Zobosai, Thiago and Krupi. I think based on Zobo potentially playing right back, I would bench him and start Cash and Thiago. Bench Zobo, bench Krupi, start Cash and Thiago. Tim, thanks for the 32 months. Doesn't City always struggle versus Spurs? Also Manny or Dewsbury Hall? I think they have done sometimes, mainly when Spurs have visited the Etihad, I think. Is that right? I think they've got a few wins over them in all comps over the last couple of years at Tottenham Stadium. But yeah, they have been a bogey team for City. I'm just not so sure this time when they've got these injuries. Gogo says 1 free transfer, Ekatike to Evan Nilsson or roll for Double Gameweek News. No, I'd roll. I think in isolation that's kind of sideways. I would only do Ekatike to Evan Nilsson if it was funding an upgrade like Bruno G to Enzo or Mbeumo, that sort of thing. So, scout selection. How many players have you guys got? This week they've gone Rufs, they've gone Gabriel, Munoz, Chalobah, Bruno and Mbeumo, Rogers, Enzo, Haaland, João Pedro and Brobby. Can anyone... So I've got Gabriel, Bruno and Mbeumo, Enzo. Can anyone beat 5? 7? Damn. 6? 5, 6, 5. Five, 2, 7, 8. Bamahua says, hi mate, start Anderson, O'Reilly or Chow. I think I'd start O'Reilly and just gamble on him, start him. He's in the predicted lineup, so I would say start him. Oh. So yeah, that's the scout selection. Munoz, for the first time in a while, back in there. The message is through. Okay, I don't normally do DMs, Yazan, just because, again, it's a bit messy for me to find them in my other window here. But I will take a look just this time. Okay, it's coming through now. You did 2 transfers, Foden to Enzo, Ekatike to Watkins, and you still have 2 transfers. Yeah, so for future reference, I wouldn't have done the early Ekatike to Watkins move, because they're the same price, and I don't know if there was price changes even, was there? You've got 2.1 mil on the bank, so it's just risky going early like that before they play in Europe. You're thinking that you need Bruno or Mbeumo. 2.1 mil. So, I mean, yeah, you've put yourself in a difficult spot now. So, Szoboszlai to Bruno. And Watkins to Evan Nilsson. I think it'll have to be that. You're going to have to use your other 2 transfers, Yazam. That's probably the best option there. Watkins to Evan Nilsson, Szoboszlai to Bruno. Just because Watkins might not even play now. He went off of a hamstring injury in the Europa League. Prince Farouk says, start Szoboszlai or Jorginho. Chance of a Palmer start. I think Palmer starts. Came off the bench in the Champions League, 2 assists. I think he'll start this one. Szoboszlai or Jorginho. What's Jorginho's minutes like lately? I've honestly not looked at him at all. Like he's actually pretty solid when he starts, but he just comes off early. 2.24. Yeah, it's too risky. I'll start Zobo for sure there. Szoboszlai over Jorginho. Palmer should start, yeah. I'd expect him to, personally. Unknown Guy says, I've got Enzo, Bruno, Bumo, Rice. Do I sell Gakpo or Ekitike? Gakpo's more of a sell than Ekitike, yeah. If I was selling either, definitely be Gakpo out first. I still think Ekitike is great. I just had the option to swap him from Bumo. And I think this week a lot of people are trying to move towards Bruno or Enzo or both. But I'm slightly ahead of the curve, potentially, because I already had them both. So I just like the idea of hopping off Ekitike before Newcastle and Liverpool and go from Bumo. I think it's awesome. I think he's a great pick. And in theory, he might even get slightly better minutes with Dorgu picking up that injury. Because obviously, Cunha had been coming on for Dorgu. Sorry, Cunha had been coming on for Mbumo the last couple of games, around 70 minutes. But maybe Cunha now starts. Could still be an early sub. Maybe it'll be Sesko for Mbumo. We'll have to see. Massey says, sell one of these for Bruno. Saka, Cunha, Wilson, Rodgers. Out of all of those, I don't think you can sell Cunha now when he could start and he's got good fixtures. So it'd have to be Wilson out of those four. Wilson out. Simon says, 2 free transfers left. I can exactly afford Semenyo and Tavernier out. Rice and Mbumo in. Better to save. Semenyo and Thiago start if I don't pull the trigger. Oh, those are nice moves, aren't they? It's what I would do it. I would say that's worth 2 transfers, Simon. Especially with the exact money. You'd be priced out of that before Gameweek 25's deadline. Yeah, I would say go for that. I like that. Octavian says, who would you buy out of Chalobah or Munoz? I would go Chalobah. The next 4 fixtures are just ridiculous. Like, it's the best fixture run any team will have all season. They're second only to Arsenal for projected clean sheets over the next 4. West Ham home, Wolves away, Leeds home, Burnley home. Chalobah for me. Munoz is, to be fair, not too far behind, but Forest away, Brighton away, Burnley home, Wolves home. I think Chalobah's better, especially with, you know, Gue's gone, Glasner's leaving in the summer. I don't know. I just don't have as high thoughts on Palace as I did earlier in the season. I had Munoz early in the season. He was absolutely unbelievable for me, but I'm not sure if I'll go there this time round. But might change my mind. But for now, Chalobah. Unknown Guy says, Gakpo to Dewsbury Hall / Cherki or roll the transfer. I wouldn't sell him for either of those. I'd sell Gakpo for Enzo this week, or Bruno, or Mbumo, or Rice, but not Dewsbury Hall or Cherki, personally. I mean, they could do well, Dewsbury Hall and Cherki, but I feel like there could be a better move than those two. Maybe it's later. Maybe you wait till next week and you know who definitely doubles. GE Mass says, how do I find the mini leagues in your app? I just subbed. Mini league. There's no mini leagues in the app. What do you mean? Thank you for subscribing. But in terms of, so if you've got the app, if you press menu bottom right, you'll see all the stuff there. Those are all the pages on the app. So for example, if I go press the teams button, then you've got all the best clean sheet odds for the week, which is the same one that I show on screen. Oh, it's screened out the green fixtures. But yeah, there isn't a mini leagues page, but press the menu button bottom right and you'll see all the pages. Some of those are like the premium tools as well. And obviously now that you're subscribed, you can change the theme, you can rearrange the order, remove widgets that you don't want, the ads are hidden. FPL Focal in the App Store if anyone else wants to install it. The app's free, loads of stuff's on there free, but if you want to unlock extra premium features, like I say, changing the themes, the premium tools, rearranging the layout, changing the colours, hiding the ads, and it's like 77p a game week. Or 77p a week. D. Doyd says, Sanchez, Dubravka, Gabriel, Timber, Tarkowski, Mukiele, 1 free transfer, Waltemala to João Pedro, Evanilson, Thiago. Yeah, Waltemala's got to go here. I think Evan Nilsson is who I would go to. Because Thiago's got 3 bad fixtures. So I would go Evan Nilsson, and then maybe you could switch later. João Pedro is nice as well, but I think he's less assured to start all the next 4. But it might not matter, to be fair. Like, João Pedro is great. Scored a brilliant goal in the Champions League. One of those two. I wouldn't buy Thiago. Fileri says, play 1. Thiago, Rogers, Wilson, Richards and Rice. Just one of those. What? How is that possible? You can't have 4 outfield players on your bench. Play 1. I think it'd have to be Thiago. Just because Villa have got McGinn out 6 weeks, Tielemans a similar amount of time, Camera out for the season. Douglas Luiz is coming. We'll have to see how he does, if he's the same player as he was before he left last time. But I would say Thiago. Sorry for all the unanswered questions. I'm going as fast as I can. It's harder than it looks talking non-stop for 2 hours straight. Question from Niall says, wildcard draft for Bruggen, Gabriel. So this was my wildcard draft to compare. If I was using it this week, that's what I would go with. So it's very similar, actually. I didn't have Palmer in there. But you've gone no Haaland, so that makes sense now. I hadn't seen that. Yeah, that looks great. In terms of a no Haaland draft, that looks great now. I hope it works out, by the way, because like it does take some balls to go no Haaland. So I really hope it works out for those that are doing it. The upside is crazy high. And hope it works. Like I was saying at the start of the stream now, and on my on the app, there's a top all-time managers league. Oh, is that what he meant? Is that what you meant when you're asking about the mini leagues, GEMAS? There's 2 virtual leagues. There's the one called All Time and there's the one called All Insider. The Insider League is just footballers that play FPL. Because there's actually quite a lot of footballers that are into FPL. So there's that one there, if you mean that. And then there's also the Top All-Time Managers League, which is that one. And one of them used their wildcard last week, Jesper. He's got some crazy finishes. And he was 66k and he wildcarded no Haaland. He got a bit unlucky because Palmer didn't play, but it's got potential. Makes you think, doesn't it? Fileri says play 1 out of... sorry, I did that. Fudgy says, why Bruno captain over Haaland? Arsenal... Also, will Arsenal bottle? Mate, I wouldn't be surprised if we did. We've been here before, but I really hope not. And we still got to play Man City away. Why Bruno over Haaland? It's really close. Bruno's playing as a 10, first of all. He's got 3 assists in his 3 games since coming back from injury. They're playing home to Fulham. Man United look fantastic. Carrick's got them playing good football, so I really like Bruno for a number of reasons. He gets the extra point per goal scored. He's got the potential clean sheet point. He's got more routes to points. Free kicks, corners, penalties. Haaland's got penalties as well. It's really close. I was saying earlier, I'm like 60-40 on Bruno. I think it could go either way. But I'm backing Bruno. And the captain widget has got Bruno top as well. I think I've lost it. Where did it go? Sorry. There it is. Yeah, look, Haaland's gone back up to 4. This changes, by the way, based on how the projections fluctuate as the deadline nears. Same on the other widgets. You'll see them change slightly. Bruno's on 5 stars, Haaland 4, so I'm backing that as well. Dimitri says, I've got Foden and O'Reilly, who I have to start. 2 free transfers. The options are Foden to Mbeumo, Foden and O'Reilly to Timber and Dye. I would do Foden to Mbeumo. I prefer that to the other combination, personally. They're both good, but I just love the idea of picking up Mbeumo with these fixtures that they've got, and he's playing as a number 9. And maybe the Dorgu injury could actually benefit his minutes as well. So, yeah, we'll see. I just had this feeling all week about Mbeumo, and I said on my transfer plans video back on last Sunday, straight after the game ended, that I really wanted Mbeumo. And then that Dorgu injury happened. It just kind of felt like it nudged me that way enough. And also, actually, the Watkins injury. I was looking at Ekitike to Watkins, but instead I did Ekitike to Mane, who also could double in 26. So even he's quite nice. And then Mbumo comes in for Bar. He was a dead spot in my team. So yeah, I like Mbumo. Howkel Ghost says start João Pedro or Wilson and captain Brobby or Haaland. I'd captain Haaland over Brobby. You've got to start João Pedro. I know he's like a doubt to start, but you can't buy him and not start him. It just doesn't make sense when he's got those fixtures. I do think there's a chance he's benched, but you can't bench him when he's got West Ham. Because imagine you bench him, he starts and he hauls. And then next week you're like, well, now what do I do? Now does he get benched this time? So it's just one of those. You have to accept it when you buy players that are a slight risk. He's great though. Adon is me says I'm thinking of a -4 to swap Vert, Semenyo, Wilson, Xhaka, Ekitike to Bruno and Mbumo, Enzo, King, and João Pedro. 0.7 mil on the bank. I would just do the other moves without the João Pedro swap and do it for free. Yeah, that's a bit simpler, like you say. Just don't do the Ekitike -4. Just do the other moves. You've got 0.7 mil, so just get Dewsbury Hall instead of Xhaka Dewsbury Hall instead of King. I think that works. Just double check that, but I think that works even if you wanted to get João Pedro next week. FPL Mikkel says 46 months. Any important leaks or last minute news? Let's check a few places. I've not looked. Nothing there. Don't think we'll get anything really. Maybe a small chance of Everton, but I don't think this is going to be a leak stream just because of the early fixtures. No, nothing at the moment. About half an hour till deadline, so I'll keep looking. Bruno G update. He's going to be assessed, so he's a doubt. That's about all we've got from Hal. He did make the bench midweek against PSG, but didn't come on. James says O'Reilly Watkins, 1 free transfer, roll or pray, Anderson bench. With 1 free Depends if you've got any midfielders, James, that could be worth spending 2 moves. Like if you did Watkins to Evan Nilsson, is there someone in your midfield, you know, like let's say you got Bruno G that you could sell for a -4 for Mbumo or Enzo? Without knowing your whole team, it's hard to say, but that could be an option. Otherwise, if there is no combination move that looks good, I would just roll. Stick with Watkins. Watkins to Evan Nilsson's okay. But it's really hard to say about knowing your whole team and your midfield. Probably just roll if I were you. But Evan Nilsson could be worth a look. Josh says start Wilson or Ekitike /Bowen /Enzo /Rogers. I'll start Enzo, I'd start Rogers. Who West Ham got again? I've forgotten the fixture. I think Bowen's a start because he's on pens anyway now. West Ham have got Chelsea away. That's it. I would start Ekitike, Bowen, Enzo, and Rogers, not Wilson. I think you've got it right there. So Wilson would have to miss out. Bash says, who do I bench? Wilson, Rice, Rogers, Enzo. I would say Wilson there as well. Start Rice, Rogers, and Enzo. Connor says, I had 1 free transfer, Rogers to Enzo, given Chelsea's next fixtures are considered easier than Villa. Yeah, that's fair. I would say Enzo is a better pick than Rogers right now, for sure. Keith says, never bench Wilson. So would you bench Rice? I think I'd rather start Rice, but it's quite close. I mean, Man United away. It's not a great fixture for Wilson. I think we're going to see Arsenal out with a vengeance as well. I reckon it'll be a 3-0 type game. It's a close one, but yeah, I'd personally start Rice. Same to Bash's question. Nick said start O'Reilly, Anderson or Keane. Probably Keane. I'm expecting Keane to start. Brighton away, is it? Yeah, I'd go Keane. I think he might even have the best clean sheet odds of the 3. Well, City, I mean, actually, City depends on if O'Reilly starts. That's the problem with him. You're risking whether he actually starts. Everton 19%. Where are Fulham? 13%. It's just O'Reilly's a risk. I'd start Keane personally. Agok says play 2 out of Bowen, Gordon, Van Dijk and Elliot Anderson. I'd play Bowen. I know he's got Chelsea, but he's on pens. He's the talisman. Anderson, Elliot Anderson or Van Dijk. I think I'd start Elliot Anderson there. Anderson and Bowen. 1 free transfer. Is Roland better than to shift Bowen funds later with double info or Gordon to who this week? If you haven't got Enzo or Mbumo, I'd say Gordon to either of those is worth it. Or Bruno, obviously. Depends if you haven't got any of those. If you don't, I would make that move. Lucidus, thanks for the 31 months. GG Oscar, sell Foden for -4, 1.2 mil in the bank. If you haven't got Bruno or Enzo, I would say, or even Mbumo, I think that's worth it. Because Foden could be benched again, I'll be honest. I would get rid of him for a hit. Med Maze says, wildcard teams. Sanchez, Sarr, Gabriel, Timber, Anderson. You're not sure on Semenyo. Yeah, I didn't have Semenyo in my wildcard draft. My midfield was Saka, Enzo, Bruno, and Mbumo, Anderson. So what's the difference there? Is it Anderson? I think you meant the other Anderson. That was my wildcard draft anyway. If anyone needs inspiration for a wildcard, that's the team I went with. Potentially you get 5 doublers in 26 if it's Arsenal and Wolves. I mean, if Chelsea do turn it around at the Emirates, then that's not great for this wildcard. So, but it is what it is. I don't know if I'd chuck an Everton player in, just in case, really. If I had more money, like you go Tarkowski over Mukiele, something like that, but I didn't. But yeah, if you do, then you could do that. We'll know next week when Arsenal play Chelsea in the League Cup who doubles in 26. So we're a few days away from knowing the doubles. The bookies odds have got, I think it's Arsenal about 88% likely to double in 26 because they're a goal up after the first leg. Did Tom sell Cherky? Yeah, he sold. I think he did Foden and Cherky to Mbumo and Enzo, I believe. It's in his team selection video, but yeah, I believe that's what he did. So Gabriel would be the most popular captain in 26 if Arsenal double, then Saka, then Rice, and then other. So yeah, that could be a really nice double for Arsenal. That, I mean, Chelsea's would be great as well if they do turn it around at the Emirates, but that would be bad for my team if they do that. So I'm kind of, yeah, really hope it's Arsenal. Not just an Arsenal fan, but also my FPL team would be a bit mudded if Chelsea turn it around from a goal down. I would have to do something like Saka to Palmer, Van Dijk to Chalobah, but then I'm putting off all the other moves that I'd want to make, so it's not great. Lewis says Pope to Verbruggen or start Dubravka. No, I'd just start Dubravka. It's not worth a keeper transfer. It's the lowest scoring position, so avoid keeper transfers as much as possible. Louvro says Van de Ven, Hikapi, Zoboslai, TK to Krupi, Chalobah, Gabriel and Mbumo -4. Yeah, love it. That makes sense. All the players you're getting rid of there look good to sell. Ekatike could punish. He's the only one. The others make sense. Do it. Stephen Gallagher says he's got a midfield of Wilson and Semenyo, Rogers, Enzo, Cunha. I can get Bruno in one move. With any of them except Wilson, who would you move? I do think Cunha probably starts, but I like Semenyo. I think it'd be Cunha out just about, Stephen. And keep Semenyo. Yeah. Cunha out. DJ Bagel Pup says, any news on Watkins? What are your thoughts? I need Bruno G and Watkins to play or Garner comes in. I mean, it's not that bad if Garner comes on. Might go Semenyo to Bruno G or Watkins to Evan-Nilsson. To Bruno G? Do you mean Bruno Fernandes? No, I'm not sure. Emery just said he's going to be assessed, so he's a doubt for sure. I'd be a little bit surprised, but maybe it wasn't a bad one. Because he went off holding his hamstring, apparently. So I think he's a dart, but Garner's not the end of the world if he comes on. He's amazing for Defcons, Garner. If you mean Bruno Fernandes, that's fine. I wouldn't buy Bruno G. Definitely not. He's a dart himself. Mr. Lowy, thank you for the super chat, and CFRYY as well. MD Street said bench one out of Tarkowski, Wilson, and Thiago. I think I'd marginally start Tarkowski, but Wilson's so high owned, so it depends if you're willing to take on his ownership. Like, he is a bit of a rank killer. Like that 92nd minute free kick last game week. And then he gets the max bonus 10-pointer when he was sitting on 2 points before that. Killer. But when he's got Man United away, I feel like you could take him on with a Tarkowski. That's what I would do. Mr. Lowy says, team is Gabriel, Tarkowski, Senesi, Chalobah, Bowen, Wilson or João Pedro for the last spot. I mean, if you've got João Pedro, you've got to start him in all the next 4 games. I know like he is a doubt to start, but you can't buy him and then bench him home to West Ham, can you? You buy him, you have to accept he's a rotation risk. That's what it is. Class Act says, will João Pedro start? The predicted lineups have got him 50-50, but it just seems daft to buy him and then try and predict if he's going to start. You're just going to have to buy him, start him in the next 4, and just accept there could be a game. There might not be, but there could be a game where he doesn't start. Maybe he comes on and gets something anyway. But yeah, he's 50% there. Delap's 50%. Moni says, who to start? Bowen or Wilson, Anderson or Nunez? I would start Bowen and I would start Nunez. Bowen and Nunez, Moni. Bash says, if you already had Petrovic, would you buy Senesi or Cash for O'Reilly? I would rather go Cash between those options. I don't like the idea of double Bournemouth defence. There's not even been a great defence as it is, let alone doubling up. I would go Cash. Derek says, start Alderete or Virgil. Zobosai to Mbumo -4. I'd say Alderete. Better clean sheet odds. He's pretty good for Defcons. Sunderland does joint top actually, 44% with Arsenal. Xhaka's a big miss, but he's still up there on the latest odds. These are like live odds. You'll see it updates all the time when you flick over. Like at the start of the stream, these odds might have been 1% different. They kind of fluctuate, the bookies. But so I'd start Alderete. I wouldn't sell Zobosai for -4. I would just start him. Hope for the best. Lewis says, best captain. I'm currently on Palmer. If I was ranking them this week, I would say Bruno, Haaland, and then Enzo, and then Palmer maybe. It's really close. If Palmer was full fitness, like he would be number 1 potentially, or 2 behind Bruno. It's really close this week captaincy, I would say. But Palmer captain's alright. I just don't like that he's got this. He had the groin issue ongoing, and then he had this thigh issue recently. I just don't like he's got these little issues. But he is a good captain for sure. LM says, were you tempted to bench boost at all during the week? You got some good fixtures on your bench, or are you waiting for the double game week? Yeah, I'm just sort of holding out for a potentially better week later. Might be a double, might not be. It's not a bad bench, is it? And there could be some bench pain this week, but I really am not 100% on him starting. I think he probably does. And then I've got Lefay against my bench keeper. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if my bench does alright. But I'd rather just wait and see if a better opportunity presents itself later. Maybe straight off the back of my second wildcard. Like, I might wildcard Gameweek 32, so maybe I'll bench boost in 33. Nat the One, thank you for the 9 months. Keep Cunha or buy Bruno. 2 free transfers, nothing in the bank. Yeah, I would swap Cunha to Bruno. For sure. I think that's worth it. Oh, we've got 3,300 tuned in. Thank you all for being here. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. If you have, do hit like below. Completely free. And subscribe as well if you're enjoying the stream. Appreciate you tuning in. So what transfers has everyone made this week? I think I'm caught up on Super Chat. So Best 6.4 mil midfielder, Anderson. Abraham, I would swerve Abraham. No leaks at the moment. I'll keep checking it near the deadline. Bowen start over Semenyo. I'd start Semenyo over Bowen. You wildcarded. Mukiele captain. No. Bruno G to Enzo looks great. I like that. You roll him. I wish I was in a position. I could have rolled actually. I could have rolled with Ekatike. Maybe I should have done that, but I just like Mbumo with the fixtures they've got. Man United in form. Playing as a 9 as well. Sunil says Saka, Bruno Fernandes, Bruno G and Reinders in midfield. Would you take a -4 to get Mbumo in for Bruno G or Enzo for Reinders? I can't fit both of them. I would say Enzo is the priority. Enzo for Reinders, definitely. Reinders is done. I saw he went down again last night. How much of a point money swing did you guys have last night? Did anyone sell like Stack or Reinders before he went down? How many rises did you guys get? Mane went up and Boomer went up. Zoboslai went up. João Pedro, Gabriel's 7 million now. Evan Nilsson went up. Robbie went up. So I had Gabriel, Mane and Boomo. 0.3. Easty says Wilson or Zoboslai to Bruno. Zoboslai. He could play right back because Frimpong's now out injured. Bradley's out injured. So I would say it's got to be Zoboslai. Mukiele or Richards? Mukiele. 4 risers. Nice. Gabriel's the new Trent. Next season, I wonder what they price Gabriel at. He's going to have to be 7.5 mil at least. Maybe 8 mil. Do you guys know who the most expensive defender of all time is? Some of you might have seen my tweet fairly recently on it. It's a Chelsea player. And it's Terry, of course. That was the 2004-2005 season. I wasn't playing then. I'm not that old. I wasn't playing then. But he was 9 million. And that was the season. He kept 24 clean sheets. He got 196 points. Only 13 goals conceded all season. 13 goals all season. How mad is that? I don't think a defender will ever get that high. Surely. Well done those that said Terry. So would you sell Saka from Mbumo? No, I wouldn't do that. Definitely not. Arsenal could double in 26. Reminder, these are the potential doubles in 26. We'll know next midweek after Arsenal play Chelsea in the League Cup. Whoever wins that doubles in 26 along with the team next to them. So it could be Wolves and Arsenal, or it'll be Chelsea and Everton. Doesn't make sense. Who would you guys rather doubled? Arsenal or Chelsea? Obviously Arsenal come with a Wolves double, Chelsea come with the Everton double. I'm more invested in Arsenal, so like the first one's better for me. I've only got Enzo right now from that second combination. You hope Arsenal doubles. Mishala says Ekatike and Stack for Mane and Mbumo -4. I think I'd rather do that next week for free than -4 this week. Unless you literally are down to 10 players, because isn't Stack a doubt? No, is he? I know, I think I'd do that next week for free rather than do it now for -4. Yeah, I would leave that. Elio Fernandez says Dorgu replacement. You got 5 mil in the bank. Long-term picks. I think cash is quite nice. Villa have got really nice fixtures. Some really good home games. He's super attacking. Who else is there for under 5 mil? I mean, Mukiele's been a beast, but it's just Burnley this week's great. But then you have to bench him the next 2 after that. So it depends if you can do that or not. Is there anyone else for under 5 million? I can't think of any. Like, I'm looking at Collins, but the next 3 aren't good. Yeah, maybe Senesi. Yeah, Senesi's a good shout. Cash and Senesi is where I'd look. Senesi's the best defender for defcons per 90, I believe, this season. Defender, yeah. 13.05 defcons per 90. Senesi's good. I'd actually think, yeah, maybe Senesi's number 1 from this week. Yeah, Senesi. Hey, Richards is okay. Lacroix, I think he's 5.1 mil. I would say Senesi looks good. Nathan Collins from Gameweek 28 says FPL Joe. Yeah, I might end up with Collins a bit later. Any leaks? I don't think we're going to get leaks because of the fixtures today, but I mean, I'll keep checking, obviously. About 15 minutes till the deadline. If we get anything, I'll let you guys know, but as it stands, no, nothing. Right, let's flick over to chat again. So Bobby says, hey Oscar, quick FPL question before the deadline. Do you think my wife is cheating on me? Do you think my wife is cheating on me? Always great to get your thoughts. Have a good game week, everyone. What have I just been asked? I don't even know how to answer that. I'm trying to think of something funny to say back, but I've literally got nothing. Bakayo in the chat says she is. I got nothing for that one, Bobby. But that's pretty funny. Well, hopefully she's not. If that's a joke, that's funny. As a super chat. Ah, that caught me so off guard. I don't know where the messages go sometimes when I start reading them. I just jumped straight in. I didn't know where that was going. I just saw a quick FPL question, and that was never where I thought that sentence was going. Oh dear. And Atta Lynn, thank you for the £1 super chat as well. I don't think she is, Bobby. I think you're okay. 50-50. Baker Man says. We're on a poll on it. Okay. All right. It's a power poll. This poll ends in 30 seconds. Chris, thank you for the 11 months. Start Thiago and Mukiele. I think you start the striker there, even though Mukiele's got great clean sheet odds because he's higher upside. And Villa are missing quite a few players. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford pull an upset. How are we doing, Thomas? Just trying to get to the bottom of whether Bobby's wife is cheating on him. Right. 69% say she is, Bobby. Sorry. Rob says, played the Bravco for Bruggen. Brighton, for Bruggen. 36% clean sheet odds for Brighton. 19% for Dubravka. For Bruggen all day. Anish says, Krupi, O'Reilly, Anderson, bench one, please. I'd bench Krupi out of those. I know Krupi's got Wolves, but I would start Anderson between those. Sell or keep Rodgers? I would keep him. I think he's fine. I better... what did I say? You saw the John Terry post and panicked. Oh dear. Right. I need to post my team before I forget. Gameweek 24. I did Bar. Mate, Bar, what a pick. 4.3 mil. Never even made a Sunderland squad. Let alone earned himself an FPL point while I owned him. And then Ekatike. To Mane. And post that in, say, 10 minutes. Today's the 31st of January. Right, keep the questions coming. What spawn she done? TBC UK, I missed what that said. Message retracted. Philip says, hi Oscar, would you bench Watkins or Evan Nilsson and Mukiele or Chalobah? I'd bench Watkins. Definitely start Evan Nilsson. Mukiele versus Chalobah. God, that's actually quite close. I think I'd start Mukiele. It's better clean sheet odds. He's a DEFCON beast. I think he's averaging more DEFCONs per 90 than Chalobah as well, plus the better clean sheet odds. Is there no one else you can bench though? Because Chalobah bench is crazy, but I think that makes more sense, honestly, if you look at the odds. Actually, what I will say, Chelsea defence is going to be about 100% effective ownership, so obviously Mukiele's not significantly better, so I actually don't blame anyone in that situation that starts Chalobah, just to protect yourself. Because let's say Mukiele concedes, Chelsea keep the clean sheet, then that's loads of points that have gone against you. And that's the one thing I'm actually really most scared of this week, I would say. Chelsea defence. Nah, is there anyone else? Maybe Rodgers? I guess there's a few players. But yeah, Chelsea defence is going to be over 100% combined ownership. So that's bad because I don't have anyone in the defence. But it's not worth a hit. It's not worth me selling Van Dijk for a hit or something. Rob says, Verbruggen better clean sheet odds, but Dubravka's smashing the save points and bonus the last few weeks. Yeah, well, that's true. That is true. But I think last week the odds was really close for Verbruggen and Dubravka, but I think there's a big enough gap in the odds that I personally would start Verbruggen. I know what you're saying though. Like Burnley's defence is the worst in the league for expected goals conceded, so they're getting peppered with shots every week. And Dubravka, was it 5 points last week? 5 the week before? Personally, I would back the clean sheet odds though, but it's pretty close. Yeah, I don't dispute that. It is close, but I'd say Verbruggen. Raphael says start Raniero, Richards or Senesi. Senesi. J Rook says bench Krupi or Bruno G. I think I'd bench Bruno G just because of the injury doubt on him. Start Krupi. This is Steve says, hey Oscar, would you start Kelleher or Dubravka? I was thinking Kelleher, but what are the odds saying? Brentford 19%. Oh, they're both 19%. Yeah, so this is like the example last week where the odds were similar, but Dubravka was getting peppered. I would start Dubravka. Same clean sheet odds, but like that point above, in theory, he probably gets more shots at him. If nothing else. Has potential for save points. Maybe Kelleher doesn't. Ib says bench. I mean, also, just thinking Watkins could be out. It's pretty close. No, I'd go Dubravka. Ib says bench one of Thiago, Ekitike, Wilson, and is Bruno worth a -4? Depends who you're selling, and I think he could be worth a -4. Yeah, he could be the best captain this week, so I don't mind Bruno in for a hit. I'd bench Wilson out of those. Yeah. Start Thiago, Ekitike. But I think Bruno for a -4 is perfectly okay this week. FPL Joe, thank you very much for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Well played, by the way. I saw you did 2 videos this week. Hope you're enjoying the process. If anyone's not seen Joe's channel, check him out. If you like my style of content, with like the vibe, faceless channel, no one in the video, good commentary, then you'll love FPL Joe's content. Check him out. Joel Thompson, thank you very much as well. And Matt says, hey Oscar, quick FPL question for you. Who's winning the Royal Rumble tonight? Who's even in the Royal Rumble? Rey Mysterio's in it. I used to love Rey Mysterio. I'm going to go Hulk Hogan. I saw a tweet that said they've revealed that Hulk Hogan's not going to be participating in the Royal Rumble. I was like, well, yeah, I know. He died a few months ago. I was like, anyway. Right, last 9 minutes. Keep your questions coming. Kawhi or Lefay, who to start? I would start Lefay. Chelsea leaks. Don't think we'll get anything. There's never Chelsea leaks. We never get Chelsea leaks. Nothing at the moment anywhere, but I'll keep checking in these last 9 minutes. If anyone's joined late or not wondering what moves I made, I've made 2 transfers. I had 2 free transfers, so I've got none now. I did Ekitike to Mane, and I did Mbumo, and I did Bar to Mbumo. Do you think Foden starts this week? I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't again. Doesn't deserve it, but you know, maybe Pep will think he's had his warning now and he needs to kind of pick up his form again. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. Barat says, "Hey Oscar, love the content as always. Would you do a -4 for Foden and Bruno G to Mbumo and Enzo, or only do one of the moves?" I would do both for a hit. I think that's actually worth it. Bruno G is an injury doubt. Foden might not start. And Mbumo and Enzo have got great fixtures. That feels like a really justifiable hit. Like for me, you definitely get those 4 points back at some point, surely. Yeah, I'll keep checking around, but I don't know if we'll get any news or leaks. Yeah, nothing at the moment. Oh, Teddy's at the door. One sec. Right, last 7 minutes. And Teddy's joined for the last 7. By DBH. Who's DBH? Or Wilson? Who's DBH? Tess says, hello from Japan. Who are you choosing your lineup? Miley, Mane, O'Reilly or Anderson? If that's Anderson, as in Forest, then I would start him. Otherwise, I'd probably go Mane. Teddy the GOAT. Yeah, probably Anderson, if you mean Forest Anderson. Otherwise, I would say Mane. Dewsbury Hall? Oh, I see. Okay, I see what he means. Dewsbury Hall or Wilson? I prefer Anderson over either of those, honestly. I know he's like a pretty dull pick, but those consistent 4 and 5 pointers actually add up. Like, he's actually quietly been great value for 5.3 mil. And he takes the odd free kick, indirect free kick, he takes corners. Honestly, I think Anderson's great. I'm probably going to buy him in 25. Unless Chelsea knock Arsenal out of the League Cup, then I think all my plans go out the window. But I'm looking to buy Anderson. I actually like him the most. I think I like him even more than Wilson. But Wilson keeps proving me wrong, so yeah, I could be wrong on Wilson. Like he's on plus 4.1 XG difference if you were to benchmark his XG against what he's actually done. It's like the biggest overperformance. He's been so good. Spurs are going to leak 9 goals. That's the only leak this game week, says Tyro. Mate, I hope that's not true. I've got Haaland vice-captain. I would captain him if I knew that there was a leak he gets if there's 9 goals. Did I miss a message, Joel? Did I? Sorry, let me go back up. But there's no message in it. It's empty. It's just an empty chat, Joel. Yeah, I don't see it, Joel. It was just an empty super chat. Apologies, I can't see it. There's nothing there. I just did a Control F. Ask it again and I'll try and spot it in chat. We've got 4 minutes though, so please be quick. Saka out from Bumo. No, I wouldn't sell Saka. Arsenal have got good chance of doubling in 26, remember. They're about 90% likely to double in 26. They're a goal up against Chelsea heading into the second leg next week, so we'll know after that second leg in the League Cup semis. I definitely wouldn't sell Saka. He could even be the best captain in 26. It's me, Riz G says wildcard in. So wildcard, I'll just put my wildcard team on screen. because you've only got 4 minutes. So if it helps, that's the team I've put together on a wild card. But you've gone, what have you done here? You've gone no Haaland. Gabriel, Mukiele, Chalobah, Saka, Enzo, Rice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So on a no Haaland draft, yeah. Okay, I get it. Keep Nico or switch to Murillo. I like Murillo more. I'm not sure what the price difference is, but Murillo's better for Defcons. I like Murillo more, yeah. Did y'all put it in the chat? Best 5.5 mil defender. Maybe Senesi? Is there anyone I'm forgetting? Senesi and Cash are good, but I'm trying to think if there's any over 5 mil that are good. Lacroix? But it's just hard to get a read on Palace right now. With Gueye gone. Glasner leaving in the summer. FPL Citizens is a guesser, if that's the same one as last week. Do not trust what they've tweeted. They've been constantly proven wrong, including last week. Last week they said something that was completely wrong. So, what was I saying? Gueye 5.3. No, I don't think I would, because they're very likely to blank in 31. I would say Senesi. Best in the league among defenders for Defcons per 90. Yinwei says Pickford or Dubravka, both 90%, just like Kelleher. I would say Pickford. Pickford over Dubravka. Fileri says bench one out of Wilson, Thiago, Rodgers, Rice, Saka. I would bench Wilson out of those 5, Fileri. Leeds haven't won against Arsenal since 2003. Hopefully that continues. I'm on double defence and Saka. So yeah, the transfers I made this week, I went Ekitike to Mane and I did Bar to Mbumo. Thank you for your service, Bar, who never got a single point in my team. He didn't even make a squad for Sunderland, actually, let alone score an FPL point. Clean sheet odds. Alright, final quick look at the clean sheet odds, and I'll put a final captain poll up. So, the poll is up. Get your votes in quick. Arsenal top of the clean sheet odds. Then Sunderland, Man United, Brighton, Forest, Chelsea, Man City, Villa. Chelsea are top of the projected goals. And then it's Man United and Liverpool. And then Man City and Arsenal, Brighton, Villa, Sunderland, Forest, Bournemouth. Before you all disappear when the deadline passes, make sure you hit subscribe below the stream. It's completely free. You can always change your mind later if you think, nah, this guy's clueless. He doesn't know what he's talking about. How's everyone doing rank-wise? I'm 53k heading into this week. Hoping for a big game week. I hope you all have a massive game week. But how's everyone looking rank-wise before this game week? Bruno captain, Haaland vice. That's all sorted. That looks good. I think O'Reilly versus Mane was debatable on the bench. But I just thought Mane's got home fixture to Bournemouth who have been shocking away. O'Reilly's not guaranteed to start. So I ended up just going Mane. 1 mil, 61k, 73k, 56k, 36k. Rank is in the mud, 2.6 mil, 69k, 2 mil, 400k, 13k, very nice. Captain poll ended up with Bruno most popular, 67%, Haaland 24%, Enzo 3%, and 6% went other. Who was the other? Yeah, there wasn't any leaks. I didn't think there would be this week, just because of what the fixtures are. Yeah, we ended up with about 4,000 tuned in, which is crazy. If anyone's got any last questions before I go, FPL or not FPL, put them in the chat. I'll answer as many as possible. And then we'll wrap up a few minutes from now. Oh, is that WhatsApp I've got open in the background? Did that come through? Why is my mate ringing me while I'm streaming? I'm streaming knob head. He says you want to go play pro clubs and FIFA. Right. What did Teddy do? Oh, Teddy missed the deadline again. He's literally missed all the deadlines this season. It wasn't Tom, no. Oh, so anyone wondering about Tom's move? He did Cherky and Foden to Enzo and Mbumo. That was Bobby's wife. That was Bobby's wife. I hope Bobby's not still here. Poor guy. What a poll. What a super chat that was. That might have been a top 5 super chat of all time. Asking me if his wife is cheating. And that was not an FPL question when he said that. Is wildcard 25 possible? Yeah, definitely. Next week looks fine, Risky Pearl, because we'll know who doubles in 26 then. Yeah, I play football. I play football every week. I'm left-footed as well. Normally playing centre mid. Normally my position. Box-to-box centre mid. You finished top 100k for 5 years, currently 550k. You could definitely still do it again then. I think Teddy still had the captain armband on Isaac because he's missed all the deadlines since Gameweek 1. Yeah, the City match tomorrow is going to be a rough watch because I've literally only got Haaland and he's going to be over 100% effective ownership. Which website do you use for predicted lineups? Just Jump the Wave. She compiles predicted lineups. Right, outro song on. What made you lose the lead when you were first in the world? I used my bench boost super early, and it was the COVID season, so like I had weeks where I just was down to like 9 players. It was just unsustainable. But I got the screenshot, so happy days. Anyway, we'll wrap up there. I hope you'll smash it this game week. You have to hit subscribe below if you're not already to lock in a green arrow. Anything else to say? I'll be back tomorrow with the transfer plans video and the usual content next week. But that's it for now. I hope you'll smash it this game week. Good luck, everyone. Focal out.